Many hellos. You're tuned in to the Rewind Guys podcast, the show where we watch, discuss, and rate old movies, new movies, movies that defined our childhoods, and others we've never seen or even heard of before. This week, we started menstruating, and we try to get on Dad's good side so he doesn't choose to kill us. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the killing of a sacred deer. So put your feet up, take a load off, and don't forget the popcorn, because the show is about to begin.
Quite a good scene, isn't it? One man crazy, three very sane spectators.
Welcome back to the Rewind Guys podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Andrews, in the company of Mike Andrus.
What's up?
Russell Andrews.
Welcome to Walmart.
And Isaiah Page.
Welcome.
This week, we're talking about the killing of a sacred deer. This is a drama horror mystery filmed in the UK. Was released November 3rd, 2017. Has a runtime of 2 hours and 1 minute. Rated R. I couldn't find the budget on this one, but I do know that it made $6.1 million in the box office. This movie stars Colin Farrell as Stephen Murphy.
I'll tell you a secret, something I've never told you before. Then you'll tell me one.
Nichole Kidman as Anna Murphy.
You caused this tragic thing to happen. I don't understand why I should have to pay the price.
Barry Cohen as Martin.
Can you show me, please? Can you take off your shirt and show me, please?
And was directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. Russell, this is your pick. Tell us a little bit more about the killing of a sacred deer and why you picked it.
I've been calling it the killing of the sacred deer this whole time, and that's not even the proper title.
Good job.
So you want me to tell you about why I picked this movie and everything? I don't even know the name of it. I don't know. I thought it was cool. It was suggested to me. You know, there's a hand job scene. Seemed like a good movie to pick.
We're just diving in here. Okay, so the movie opens up. There's an operation going on here.
Yeah,
and
Was that a heart?
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's a heart, right?
I thought those were testicles.
No, I mean, obviously, whenever I see a heart depicted, it's not that shape, and it's nice and red and very beautiful. This is kind of white and fatty and kind of grotesque. I'm assuming it's a heart.
I was wondering, do you think it's a real operation that they filmed for that scene? If that was real,
A lot of operations get filmed. It could have just been
that's what I was wondering.
Some stock footage.
Yeah.
Probably. We get this heart scene, and that's kind of it. That's the whole opening. That it lingers on that shot for quite a while. We get this
Very
like
heartfelt
Gotta be honest, I was about to eat when this popped up. I'm like, we're just gonna wait until this is over, just in case something gross happens, and then I'll start eating.
No, but nothing gross really happens. I mean, like,
aside from the movie.
yes. Okay.
Fucking right.
But all right, so it lingers on this heart for a while. We get this really creepy orchestral music, and that's kind of it. Colin Farrell takes all his like gloves and shit off, and the movie just kind of
So did
begins.
it bother anyone else that he didn't do the thing with the gloves where you pull one glove off and then when you have the other one on, you grab the other and pull it off?
And you kind of fold
that
it within
kinda-
itself?
That kind of bothered me. That I was like, that seems
Especially
a little- I don't know
with,
why
like-
we're being a stickler for detail on that, but it just seemed kind of odd.
Like everybody
I thought
does
it
that
too.
where they grab it with the still gloved fingers as they pull them both off.
Because you
It's-
just kind of like twist your hand, grab, and flip, and you're done.
yeah.
Okay. I thought the same thing. But on the other hand, I mean, you can't tell me, like, as a doctor, you don't get to a point where things are just like, I don't even give a fuck. I mean, like, it's his job every day.
Yeah.
I
I'm
feel
sure
like
he's
he
gonna
kind of
wash his
would.
hands anyway.
Well, right.
Yeah.
He was just
Yeah,
inside
but-
someone's chest.
I mean, obviously, with a lot of jobs, there's proper ways of doing stuff. But I think, like, you just get to a point sometimes where it's just like, I don't even fucking care.
but yeah, I thought that was super weird.
Yeah. I like how we
Plus,
all focus on that.
Is that supposed to be the heart surgery that
Why,
he was
like-
drinking before? That
Yes.
that was supposed to be the dad. That
I
died?
believe so, yes.
Honestly, that
Didn't
bit.
think
I
about
don't-
it.
So if he was drunk taking his gloves
No.
off,
Wait,
That's
I'm
what he's like.
confused. Actually, now that you question that, because I thought it was,
yeah.
but I'm
But
not so
doesn't he
sure
meet-
it was.
Doesn't he meet with Martin right after?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he goes
But
to
is
the
it
hallway.
right after that, or was it like two separate scenes?
That's what.
That
Yeah,
just look like
now
they're the
your
same.
question
Like, I don't
is
know.
throwing me off. Like, yeah, was that surgery? And now it's like cut to he's just at the hospital.
Well, yeah, because he works there. So
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of scenes there.
Oh man,
I
that's
don't
a
know.
good question.
That part I didn't understand.
Actually,
Just that part. Out of the whole movie, that's the only part I didn't understand.
Yeah, I bet. So we see Martin, which, by the way, I just want to say, I was kind of excited because I was hoping that I could tell you guys, look, there's a child actor that I actually like, because I oh my God, I fucking hate Martin. He plays it so well. He plays it so well. And granted, he's a little older looking for a child actor. But I'm like, he's like 16, 17. He still classifies. I like this guy. And then I looked him up. He's 27. Yes. That guy's 27 years old.
So he looked familiar to me the whole time. I've never seen Dunkirk, but I'm pretty sure his face is on the cover of it, and I just see the cover of that all the time.
Really? I know, I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it.
When I saw him, my brain kept thinking, I was like, is this Ezra Miller? I'm like, one of his earlier movies. When when did this movie come out? What did you say again?
This one?
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah. Well, like, I thought it was him, but I was like, it can't be. And then when the credits rolled, I'm like, oh, it really isn't him.
What's your opinion on Bob?
I love that.
Okay. Here's the thing. I'm going to throw this out there.
Come on.
I don't hate these two. I don't hate Bob or Kim. They're fine. I mean, they're
also played by 30-year-olds.
Probably. Their performances, I mean, they're not like they're stellar, but I don't hate them. But I will say, regardless of their performance, man, did I feel bad for Bob the entire movie.
Yeah.
He got the shit end of the stick on everything.
I feel like you just kind of know as the movie goes on that it's going to be Bob. You just feel, except for there's one part where I think, oh, it's going to be his wife.
I really was hoping. I was like, please not, Bob.
Oh, man.
Like, when it started, he get like, please not, Bob.
Man, we will definitely get into this.
Who names her son Bob?
Man, forget his wife.
I really think it's probably Robert. But did you call him Bob? Bobbert? Not gonna lie, I did that to my cousin before, and I called him Bobbert. He's like, don't ever do that again. I'm like, sorry.
we will definitely get into the individual characters, but man, I absolutely hated Steven's wife. Well, first of all, I'm not a huge fan of Nichole Kidman to begin with.
I didn't hate her.
I hate her character.
I thought her character was fine.
She's an ass.
Well, I mean, especially when you compare, like, you got to put yourself in her shoes. She's got to deal with, well, I don't know the guy's name. What's his name?
The dad?
Steve. She's got to put up with him. And he's obviously an alcoholic, or at least was. He's not exactly very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like mean, but he's just kind of cold.
Well,
yeah.
Is this his character supposed to be like on the spectrum? Or?
He felt very robotic throughout the movie.
Everybody did, first of all, but I think that the spectrum one would have definitely been Martin.
Yeah.
I thought they both were. I thought that's why they got along.
Yeah. I thought he was like a secret love child that she wasn't supposed to know. I literally, that's what I thought.
Oh,
a
man.
secret love child that he was making love to also.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time. Like,
wait, is that a legit statement?
What?
Making love? You think that they had a thing?
Dude, I mean, between Martin, Steve, and Martin's mom, there was something weird going on there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
even that one scene where he's like, "Let me in and I'll fuck you and your mom just like you wanted."
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But
which I wanted to see.
All right.
It also
I wanted to
was
see
like
that scene
there was also the confession scene where he finally told his wife that he'd been hanging out with Martin the whole time
secretly
for 6 months, for the past 6 months,
and it seemed almost like he was coming clean about cheating.
Yeah, well, I mean,
well,
I did
cheating, but it was just like because he felt bad for what happened.
Well,
I think he was
like that's where I was like, oh, he wasn't actually banging this kid. It was
he was just wanted to.
But so
apparently, like it was.
You put it very nicely.
Yeah,
I mean, you gotta say it like it is.
Well, you know,
our son wants to plow you. You know, you got to put it gently.
Okay, yeah. Okay. First of all, the relationship between the two was kind of weird, and the secretiveness behind it, yes, was also strange. But I just thought it was one of those things where it's like, you know, I'm taking time away from my family, and I didn't want, you know, my wife and these guys to know that, you know, they're not as important to me.
Yeah.
And I think he was also trying to hide the fact that I think he knows he probably was responsible, and his drinking did kill his dad.
Yeah.
And he didn't want that out of the closet and let nobody know about it.
I thought it was guilt-based.
Nice watch.
Thanks.
What's the water resistance?
200 meters.
And it's got a date display.
Yes, it does.
I might have gone for a metal strap instead of a leather strap.
Really?
Yes. I think I'd prefer a metal strap. I've had this one for years. It's as good as new.
What's the water resistance?
100 meters.
How long have you had it?
9 years. A little bored of it, actually. I've been thinking of getting a new one for quite a while now.
Okay, this is what we'll do. We'll go to the place where about mine. If I tell them you're a colleague, a friend, they'll definitely give you a discount. Both the owner and his father have been patients of mine for some time, so I know them quite well. Think about it.
All right, let's get back on track. So, yeah, we see him meeting up with Martin, not a kid actor. He is hanging out at this diner. It even just seems kind of weird, but like, let's face it, at this point, everything seems weird. Everybody, the way everybody's acting is so is so sterile and no emotion.
Yeah,
and
when you're watching it for the first time and the two doctors are talking about watches, it's
yes.
like, who the fuck is talking like this?
And I love how,
Right?
like what's the water resistance? 200 meters. Mine's 100 meters. I've had it for 9 years. Getting kind of sick of it, though. I think I might buy a new one. And it's like, it's just, it's like, it's so monotone.
All of their thoughts just come out.
Yes.
But everybody's doing it, so nobody cares.
And the thing about this is, like, everybody knows exactly how to put what they want to say. Everything is blunt and, like, to the point perfectly.
I actually like the way you said that. Everyone's thoughts are just pouring out in this movie.
Yeah.
But because everyone's doing it, no one thinks it's weird, even though everything they fucking say is weird as hell.
Right.
Everything they say is like a thought that you shouldn't be saying.
Yeah.
So he buys Martin this watch as a gift, and he makes a big deal. It's kind of weird, and it's a stupid thing, but he makes a big deal to exchange the metal strap for a leather strap. Or no, I'm sorry, leather strap for metal strap.
Yeah.
And then when Martin gets it, he's like, "Oh man, does it come in leather?" Like he wants the leather strap, which he gets later on.
And Steve's like, "God damn it!"
But he wanted to hug him though.
Martin.
Like, can I hug you?
See,
oh yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Like the whole interaction between them two was awkward.
When they first met up at the diner, I thought it was going to be something like divorced parents. He was meeting his slightly older kid to hang out.
Okay, I could see that.
That's what it came across as at first.
That's what I thought.
Because of how awkward it was.
Yeah, I didn't know what to think at all. Like, I had no idea where this was going.
I either thought it was like a kid from an affair or like a divorce or something. But no, yeah. After he's like, "Can I hug you?" and this like referring to him by first name, it's like, oh wait, this probably isn't his kid.
Yeah, and I think it's weird that they've been like secretly, I guess, hanging out with each other for 6 months.
Yeah,
and now
they're only just hugging. Why are they taking it so slow?
That's right.
Like that?
Thanks, Dad. I mean,
I just kind of feel like they, I'm not like lovers or nothing, but it seems like they'd be on more of like a
leather daddy kind of level.
No, like a father son kind of thing. Come on, man. Anyway, okay. So
I mean, he is buying him shit.
Wait, well, yeah. He's just being nice.
I don't know. I feel like
It's
there's
a
a
lot.
lot. I feel like there's so many ways you could take all of the stuff going on in this movie, and that everybody could have a really different opinion.
Yeah, I suppose.
On what's happening.
Let's see. We got dinner. A very typical family dining situation. We're talking about the oldest daughter wanting to go to a sleepover and how Bob really needs a haircut.
I know. Leave Bob's hair alone.
Yeah, what's wrong with his hair? It's
Steve
not
is
good.
like such a dick about it.
He has some nice hair. Not gonna lie.
He does get kind of on everybody's case for everything. Everything has to be a certain way. Everything has to be his way.
Yeah, but I feel like Bob especially, you know?
Oh, poor
He's just
Bob.
like pushing a lot of pressure on Bob.
He really is. I think maybe it's better off this way. I'm just saying.
But still.
When you name your kid Bob, you know.
Okay.
What do you expect?
So let's fast
I'll name my
forward.
dog Bob.
We go. Okay, it's nighttime now, and Steve and Anna are getting ready to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
This is weird as fuck.
Okay. Before sleep, they play my favorite game, general anesthetic.
Yes.
How weird is that?
That's like my relationship goals right now.
I feel like
is to
that's
find
a
someone
kink
that'll do
a
that.
doctor shouldn't have because it's not.
Yes.
That is
You know, but
not a good
he's
environment for him to be in.
handling it in a nice way.
That's- I
He's
mean,
doing it at home with his wife, not with the patients.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, that you know of.
Well, that's true.
And yeah, you
How
don't
do you
know.
think that guy's dad died?
Yeah,
Oh man.
Put his pee-pee in his heart.
Oh my god. Yeah,
Just
this
gonna
is
put the tip in there.
this is a really weird fantasy situation. Yeah, where she just acts like she's under anesthetic, and he
Just
starts
kind of starts grabbing his
touching
junk.
himself.
That just kind of like threw me off. I'm sitting there, all of a sudden she laid all weird on the bed. Outside, just like, sure, all right.
I didn't even
You didn't see
catch
that?
that. I mean, I seen the scene, but I didn't catch the first time that she said general anesthetic, and then she lays there, and then that proceeds to continue.
It's like, oh,
it seemed
yeah.
out of like she just randomly said general anesthetic. I'm like, what? And then when she started laying on the bed, I'm like, oh, I get it. Whoa, okay.
Yeah, it very, very weird.
Escalated quickly.
Yes, it did. The next day, back at the hospital, Martin is waiting for Steven, and this is so weird because, again, this has been going on for 6 months, and now it seems like everything Martin is doing just annoys the shit out of Steven.
Well, because he just starts showing up without calling in anything. And that's what starts to bug the shit out of him. Because all of a sudden he showed up at the hospital and he's like, you need to call first if you're going to show up.
Yeah,
So
because the one
you know,
doctor was there too.
Oh, yeah, Matthew.
And then he has to like try to explain like why is this 16-year-old hanging out with me all the time? Why he's at the hospital?
Yeah, but Martin knows the backstory of what happened. I mean, it's not like he can hide the fact that the guy died from Martin. I mean, he couldn't
guess.
just say, like, I just feel bad for the kids, so, you know.
Plus, I feel like maybe Martin.
Wait, what was the anesthesiologist or whatever. What was his name?
Matthew?
Okay. Wait, why would he? I'm confused about what you said. Hiding the fact that the guy died from Martin. Did you mean to say from the other doctor?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
he-
I said Martin. I meant Matthew. You're right. You're
Okay,
right.
I was just confused there because I was like,
Yeah, I can't
you're
remember
right.
two different M names.
Because the other doctor knew everything.
Yeah,
To the point
exactly.
where he believed he was responsible.
And that was actually going to be my question. Is everything he just told Matthew in this scene bullshit? Was it all a lie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I think so.
Because he's like, oh, he's aspiring
It was-
to be a cardiologist and
it
yada
was-
yada.
'cause
Yeah.
That story was his daughter's actual friend, who I'm assuming was a girl.
Oh.
He put Martin in the place
Oh,
of
I didn't know that. I
actual
didn't
story
catch
they
that
told
one.
at the dinner that previous night.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay. All right. But yeah, and again, I thought that was weird because we learned later on Matthew already knows all this shit. So it's like, who are you hiding this from? Who
Well, he
cares?
might not know what the son looks like or anything. I don't know. Maybe he's not that like.
Yeah, I guess
invested in the.
I just don't understand why it would have been a big deal. Like
He's
he couldn't.
also obviously very close with his wife because when he gets the hand job, she's like, oh, I'll give you what you couldn't get at the
dinner party
cookout.
or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, come on. I mean, look at Matthew. He's a fucking stud. I mean, I want to give him a hand job. So we get a couple of quick scenes following
I love how
that.
quiet Isaiah is. This whole conversation is kind of laughing in the background. Like, hand jobs. This movie's really uncomfortable.
What am I getting myself into?
We haven't even the best part about this is we haven't even hit the truly uncomfortable scenes yet.
No.
I'm excited now. Like, this is gonna be awful.
This is just the tip of the Matthew. We get
Boy, is it.
We get a couple of quick scenes following this whole exchange. Stephen is listening to his daughter sing some scales while Bob is brushing his hair.
Fucking Christ.
What her amazing singing?
She has like the worst singing of anybody ever. Shut the fuck up, girl.
Like, it's not. Well, to me, it's like it's not terrible, but it's not good either. It's really not.
Yeah, but when you put her in a full choir of people who can sing,
when more people join in, the song will get better.
I actually like that because it's pretty realistic. You ever hear a high school choir before? Fucking sucks.
I actually really haven't.
Yeah.
Okay, but and then after that, because you see even in this scene, Steve, he's looking all dapper. He's got like his white shirt, his black tie, because apparently him and his wife leave to attend this black tie seminar, apparently for surgeons or something.
Yeah.
Steven's at the podium. He's talking about how far surgery's come since like the 60s, and they meet up with Matthew again. And this, I don't understand exactly all the metaphors and stuff behind this movie, but like he just talks about how great and perfect his kids are, and how his daughter has started menstruating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would he bring this up in a professional environment?
I don't know.
Like you said, it's all the awkward thoughts you never want to tell people, but you just say them.
That one in particular is what I was thinking of when I said that.
You guys clearly don't have a lot of friends. This is just common, friendly chit chat.
I have friends, but we don't talk about this shit.
But are you doctors at a fancy party?
Yes.
No.
That's
There's a
when
difference.
menstruation comes up.
Good evening, Reginald. My daughter is menstruating. Would you like one of her tampons?
Splendid.
Oh my god.
Okay, we cut to a walk where Steven's on a walk with Martin, and shit isn't right. Because every time he is with Martin,
He gets a boner.
Yeah. No. You get this really weird, eerie music. There's always fucking eerie music
Yeah,
when
but I
he's
thought that
around.
music
Just
was
like-
great.
Oh, the music's
It
weird
was like
and awesome.
super fucking jarring, but it fit perfectly in there.
Oh,
It's
it's
like,
so good.
You ever like walking out in the woods alone, just having a nice day, and all of a sudden like that music kicks in out of nowhere?
Yeah.
well, I'm
You're
fucking
probably
getting the
gonna
hell out
die,
of there.
yeah.
Fuck
You can
that.
expect to see Steven behind the next tree. He's just there. And
Steven
okay.
or Martin.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of Martin.
Oh shit! Yeah. Why does I deal with names
You keep
today?
switching them around.
Well, I still wouldn't want to see Steven behind a tree. We'll get into that too. That guy. Oh man.
God, speaking of awkward scenes, he's got a hell of a one.
Oh yeah. He's got a few. So okay, here's the thing. They're talking about how it's better to have less friends but good friends and more friends and
Yeah, and hold on to that
shitty
idea.
friends.
Gotta hold on
That
to
comes
the-
up later.
Okay. Oh, ooh,
Oddly.
interesting.
Yeah, I know.
And it's very strange. Did you see that? Did you catch that?
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't catch it the first time I watched it. The second time I watched it, I got it.
Ooh, can't wait to
What?
hear because I don't think I caught this. So anyway, here's where Steven got the name right this time. Steven done fucks up because he invites Martin over to meet the family.
Did he invite or did
No.
Martin ask to come over?
No, Steve asked. He's like, hey, is this okay? I want you to come over and meet the family, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I think he wants to introduce him more into the family so it can be one of those things where it's no longer a secret and it can be more of a casual relationship, okay?
Yeah.
No, nothing weird here.
I also feel like Martin and all of the really terrible things that happen aren't meant to be taken literally. Because I kind of almost feel like Martin and the events could be kind of like taken as an idea of his alcoholism coming back. At first, it's a secret, and then he brings it into the home, and it starts to make his life becomes worse.
Ooh.
Marriage problems with kids.
Stop getting really psychological with this because that requires thought. I don't have that. So
Yeah, when I was watching this, I was like, I'm just going to have all this go right over my head and just watch the movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but and we'll talk more toward the end of this,
Dude,
but yeah, you can get away with that, though.
I wish I could.
You can actually get away with just taking this movie for face value. I mean, yes, it's a bizarre movie, but I think that even if you don't know and you like that kind of shit, you know. So, okay. Don't want to get too much into that yet. This is a dumb thing to be irritated by.
The rubber gloves are back.
Yeah, no, I hate
I'm just
this
glad
shit.
I wasn't the only one who was annoyed by that.
Yeah, I think we all were.
I don't know. It's like the weirdest thing to be nitpicky about, but
No.
it's really annoying. I don't know why.
This is a weird thing to be nitpicky about. I hate this. I've seen this in other movies. Why the hell are you gonna wrap a gift up and be here? This is what I bought you. Then don't wrap it.
He did that later in the movie, too.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it was supposed to be a
Regretted it.
surprise. Yeah, he did like, oh, I wasn't supposed to tell you. It was supposed to be a surprise.
I think that might just be like supposed to be a thing he does. Like,
Maybe. But I've seen that in other movies where people give gifts and they're all wrapped
He's got to
up,
ruin the surprise.
and then they just tell you what it is, and I'm like, well, that's pointless.
I'm gonna start doing
that's
it.
a movie like cliche thing because they don't want to have to take the time for someone to actually open it and go through the whole surprise bullshit. So it's like, hey, it's quicker just to be like, oh, here's a gift I got you. It's this, and then they move on from the scene.
When did you start smoking?
About 8 months ago. I was over at a friend's place. It was a party, actually. And this girl offered me a cigarette, and I said, why not? And lit up. That was a mistake. I regret it. But it's too late now. I'm addicted.
Can you show me the hair under your arms?
Sure.
You haven't got that much. Have you seen how hairy my dad is?
No.
He's got 3 times more hair than you do.
You've got a great body.
Thanks.
Moving on. Now the kids are chilling in Kim's room, and guess what conversation goes back up?
Her period.
Yes. You know, I feel that the key to
started my period.
understanding this movie is by shedding your uteral walls. I feel like if I can manage to do this, all will be revealed.
Yeah, of course.
Good
If
luck.
you watch it while menstruating, you get it. You know, it all comes together.
It comes
Patrick
up
said
with...
it, folks. This is what you got to do to understand this movie.
Okay, in fairness, I was talking about my male uterus, okay?
Oh yeah, I
so you
pee out of my dick.
You
That's what I meant to say.
Uterus?
Your male uterus.
Oh my goodness.
I
Gotta
don't know.
shed the wall of my asshole.
Oh yes, please.
Whoa, okay.
You said it. I was just elaborating
I did
for
not
you.
say that.
I was just elaborating for you.
Wait a minute, a uterus isn't an asshole already? I thought that was just what it was.
The same thing.
It's a male uterus, you know.
Couple other things that happen in the scene. I don't even know if they're relevant, but I'll mention them. Kim's lost like 2 MP3 players in the past couple days. Let's see. Bob likes punk and metal music. Let's see. Martin started smoking 8 months ago.
I know.
He's a-
That's so bad for
Man,
himself.
and he's addicted
Steve
now.
has 3 times more body hair?
Yes.
Yeah, apparently.
Yes. Bob wanted to see. He asked Martin first if he had body hair or something like that. And he's like, yes, I do. And he's like, well, can I see? And I'm like, that's kind of weird. But like, he's like, yeah, fine. You know, no big deal. So he kind of like just lifts his shirt up and like shows him his armpit or whatever. And he's like, oh, my dad has 3 times more hair than you. And like something like that. And
To be fair, I mean, kids are weird. I could totally
Yeah,
see kids
Kids
doing
are
that.
thought
brutally
that was
honest. Kids
strange.
don't have a filter
Yeah.
until they hit a set age.
But then I thought, yeah, Bob, I don't know how old he is, but I could see that. You know,
Yeah.
maybe
Bob
he's.
Bob's
like he's
supposed to
like-
be
I
in this
think
movie.
Bob's like 8, maybe.
Oh, I was thinking older, maybe like
well, I know the daughter, I think, is 16.
11 or 12, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not good with age.
I think Bob's shortness just throws me off in his age. He's
Yeah,
a short little
I don't
guy.
know. Like I say, I know. I think they actually do disclose his age at some point somehow. But I do know that the daughter is 16, and Bob. Yeah, I don't know. I think he is like either just preteen or maybe even just into teen. I don't know.
Well, I mean, he's not old enough to get pubic hair yet, obviously. So
No.
Well, at least he's got a great head of hair, you know, in his defense.
Oh, yeah.
Steve and Anna are getting ready for bed, and then Anna asks how Martin's dad died. Steve just tells her it was a car crash and he died instantly. So he's still hiding the fact that he had anything to do with this.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, I didn't catch that the first time, apparently, as I have written down
like
here.
a lot of these things require a second watch. Like, this is definitely a movie.
Yes.
If you're going to watch it, you should watch it
I think
twice.
a lot of these things also require
intelligence.
Yeah,
require a lot more
IQ.
brain power than I have.
A lot of this stuff, though, is the first time you're getting this info. Like Martin's dad dying in a car crash. Unless you're paying perfect attention, you're not going to probably remember it later when they finally reveal, oh, yeah, he died this way.
Yeah.
So I didn't think anything of it.
I want a psychologist to watch this. Yeah, I'm sorry. I sound like an old smoking man for a minute there. I want a psychologist to watch this movie and let me know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
I'd also like new lungs.
Okay, but here's the thing. Like, I'm assuming it's at least semi-late. But he gets a phone call before he can even go to bed, and it's Martin, and he wants to return the favor and have him over to have dinner with himself and his mom the next day.
Yeah, his mom has a nice body. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Martin knows his mom's got a nice body.
Yes. Oh, it's so
He's like,
weird.
Steve, my mom's hot. Do her. Come on.
Yeah, that's man. Him trying to hook Steve up with his mom is very unsettling.
Oh,
that's
not the word I'd use for it.
And like, here's the thing. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a child who maybe likes a certain person. It's like, oh my God, this would be great if like this person were my mom or my
Here's the
dad.
question. Would he have not had to kill his kids if he banged his mom?
Oh, I don't. Oh man, there we go.
That would have solved everything.
But no, I think it's just kind of weird
You
because
become his new daddy.
You know, let's just
on the way there.
Hey, you know, he took one of his family members. Now he's replacing one of them.
But we're going to go into this right now, actually, because ultimately, when the night, you know, we kind of cut to the following day where even though he kind of doesn't want to do this, he does go over to his house.
Again, metaphor for his alcoholism. Gets a little drunk, thinks I'm going to go meet up with this woman who I know is single because I killed her husband. She's vulnerable. Regrets it.
Dude, I can't remember who played Martin's mom.
That was, God, I think it was Alicia Silverstone.
Yeah. I'm like, holy shit, I haven't seen her anything in a while.
Yeah.
At least not that I know of.
I don't.
She looked familiar, but I couldn't think of anything.
I think, honestly, I only know her from Clueless. I think that's it. It's like the only movie I think I know her from. And then I think she was in a Batman movie too or something.
Yeah,
I don't really know her catalog, so.
I think she was in Bat Nips. I'm not sure.
Bat Nips?
Yeah, no, because that's like that. Out of all the Batman movies, that's the worst one, and they literally call it Bat Nips.
Yeah, the one where the Batman had the nipples on the suit. That's right. Okay, I was like, did he mean to say that? I was so confused.
It's been dubbed Bat Nips, so
Freudian slip there.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Nipples.
But yeah, so he goes over there, and here's the thing. Like I was just saying, like there's nothing wrong with trying to hook up, you know, your single parent with somebody that you really like. But one, you already know he's happily married with children, and then two,
married 16 years.
Yeah, but here's another thing too. It's like I want you guys to be together, but it's like halfway through the movie, you're like, oh man, I can't make it through the movie. Good night, you guys. Hope you don't bang. And like he's like he goes because he wants them to.
You know he wasn't going to stay for the whole movie.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you could tell this whole thing is just a setup.
Okay. I was trying to figure it out while watching these scenes. I wish I could tell which movie they were watching.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I tried so hard. I couldn't figure it out.
I was like, that doesn't look like anything I fucking know.
Oh, it's Bat Nips. Yeah, there are the nipples right there.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God.
That would be Martin's favorite movie.
So apparently, Martin's mom has this thing for hands, man. She for Dr. Hands.
Yes,
Dr. Hands.
Beautiful hands.
Painting Dr. Hands.
Oh man, she is just getting all up on him. He doesn't want anything to do with it. And when she starts like going to town on his thumb, he's like, "Oh, I'm out of here." He has to pry his
She's
thumb.
like deep throating that.
Yes.
Am I the only one who's actually surprised he didn't go through with it? Like I thought, I don't know. I expected him to cheat. Like,
No, I actually did not expect him to because the whole time he just seemed really awkward about it.
See, like the moment like she went for his hand like that, I really expect him to go yoink. Nope, bye. But instead, he let it go for like a minute and was like, "Oh wait, hold up."
He seemed really awkward and uncomfortable at it, but he also seemed really awkward and uncomfortable about everything in his life. So I didn't know what to expect from him.
He was just awkward and uncomfortable.
I think if she had just kind of flopped on the ground like she was unconscious, then he probably would have hit that shit.
She didn't say the key word there.
What was the key word?
General anesthetic.
Oh yes. Oh my God,
It's
that would work.
actually 2 words.
Yeah. It's Keywords.
Stop being a stickler for detail.
Now, general anesthetic.
I'm just being a
Oh,
bitch.
yeah.
But yeah, so like it's weird because like I kind of thought that too. Like she got really frisky with his hand before he's like, all right, I got to get out of here. But I think it's because, in my opinion, I think he was trying to find a good way to like approach how to get out of the situation. And then when she like put his thumb in her mouth and she just starts going to town, he's like, okay, nope, I'm out, goodbye. And then she's like, no, I won't let you leave until you try my tart. And I'm like, what?
I was like,
I like try my tart. I'm like, no, you don't want to try none of you. He's
Oh
out.
my
You
God.
need to eat the tart off of my pussy.
Oh,
You know?
I think
That's
that's
what I was looking for.
I think that was her tart.
Oh, the tart part.
man, should this be the first one I put a censor
tart
beep
part?
in? I don't know. I haven't censored anything out. Is that too?
I like
meant
the idea of you
cat.
censoring.
Oh, yeah.
They obviously have a cat there. You saw it. It was eating the tart.
Oh man. Okay, so let's fast forward. The next morning when Steve goes to work, Martin's already waiting for him, and of course now Steve's kind of like,
Hold up, wasn't there another scene? Okay, so right before he goes to his house, isn't there a scene where he thinks he sees Martin in the garage?
Yeah, because I think he was on his way to the house and thought he saw Martin and.
Or was that after this?
I'm not 100%
All I know is,
sure.
I might have missed that one. Wouldn't be surprised.
Was like it kind of implied Martin was never even going to school. He's just following him around the hospital all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the following day, Martin's already there waiting at the hospital for Steve, and Steve, of course, he's just kind of getting like, fed up with this shit. You could just tell. And he's claiming now that his heart hurts and he needs help. And then
But didn't he kind of like, wasn't he kind of insinuating like, why haven't you banged my mom yet?
yes.
Isn't
You
this
guys
the
should
whole
be
scene where
great
he
together.
literally talks about how nice of a body his mom has for like
Yeah.
a few
She
minutes?
was a little
That's-
heavier
I
than
don't-
that, but she lost some weight.
I don't
Good
know if
figure.
it comes in
Yeah.
here actually.
Was that
Actually,
not
I
yet?
wrote that
That's soon.
down.
That's soon.
and I
Oh,
don't have it yet.
And I like when they're on the couch before the hand sucking scene, and
Yeah.
she's like, I dyed my hair. Do you prefer me this way or with the brown hair? Hey, Steven, which hair do you like, Steven?
Yeah,
Your
because she
hair
was
looks nice.
she lost weight. She changed her hair. She is changing her lifestyle for Steven. She wants to be in Steven, which I don't know how that works.
I feel like you
She's
got
into
that
some kink.
backwards.
Have my baby, Steven.
We're gonna bring this
Oh,
back
man.
up. She wanted to stick it in his man uterus.
He's just into a
Yeah.
little bit of pegging, Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't demasculate
It's
him for his
2020.
kinks.
Nobody cares about anything anymore.
Yes, exactly.
It's all fair.
All right.
Everything's fair game.
But yeah, so we get this weird scene where he's running tests to check Martin's heart just to make sure to kind of put Martin at ease. And this is where Martin brings up that Bob was talking about his body hair. And he's like, can I see? He says you have 3 times more hair than I do. Can I see? And like,
And please, can you show me?
yeah, and it's really weird. And there've
really
been
asked
a
for
few
it.
uncomfortable moments.
A few.
Yes,
just a
this
few.
one's kind of hitting me pretty hard.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is really awkward.
I'm like, you're like this teen boy, and portraying a teen boy, of course. And this is like a grown ass man.
He did it really awkwardly too. Just
Yeah.
like,
Well, I don't think he wanted
give him a
to.
little
No.
show.
Yeah. Yes. And then I like Martin. He's like, you are hairy, but you're not 3 times as hairy as I am. Which I mean,
Martin lied to me.
Bullshit.
Or Bob lied to me.
Colin Farrell is like 1,000,000 times hairier than that kid.
No, he didn't seem that. I've seen hairier guys. I didn't think it was 3 times.
Pierce Brosnan.
as hairy.
Wait, you didn't
Especially
think Colin
the
Farrell was
armpits.
3 times?
Especially the armpits. That's what they were mainly talking about.
Sean Connery's
Yes.
hairier than that.
Because like
Sean
when he
Connery is 3 times as hairy.
when earlier when Martin lifted up his shirt to show Kim his armpit hair, he's like smooth all over.
Except for the armpits, though. His armpits were hairy.
Is that really all this
think
is?
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Is this really the most
Was-
debatable point of this?
Yes, it is.
I don't think his
Apparently.
armpits were 3 times hairier. The rest of him probably, but not the armpits.
Okay, all right, fine, fair enough.
Have examined both their armpits thoroughly. I know these things.
All right.
I went to
fine.
where they live.
I freeze
Yes.
framed these scenes and counted all the hair follicles on each.
I actually brought some slides to show you guys
Oh,
the
great.
comparison. But
We now have the scene where Steve is having a cookout with Matthew while Martin was back at the diner trying to get a hold of and talk to Steve like, hey, where are you? I've been here waiting like, a half an hour. And he is persistent as shit.
yeah.
He's just like, I got you an apple pie. I've been waiting over a half hour. Are you at the hospital? Can I come there? Is it an operation? Is it
Need to come
important?
here
The
and
level
eat
of
my tart.
desperation.
Yes, like he's
Yeah.
You could feel it. He was so desperate. Like,
yeah.
I'm also just now putting together that later on, when what's the wife's name again? I forget.
Anna.
Anna was saying
Same as her actress name.
Wait, what?
Anna Nicole Smith.
That's not Anna.
No, that's Nicole Kidman, isn't it? Whoops.
That's Nichole Kidman.
Whoops. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I thought about that the entire movie.
Isn't Anna Nicole Smith dead?
Yeah.
Yes.
I literally thought
I didn't know
about
that was her name. I thought her first name was
the best part
Anna
is I'm
something.
pretty sure she was dead before 2017, so they just had her corpse film movie apparently.
Not gonna lie. I think I thought that was her name the entire movie.
Why was that the only actor CG'd throughout the whole movie?
But no, I just
They do those
realized.
weird holograms for the concerts or whatever. They just had her in the movie.
This shows you how much her character was important to me in this movie.
I don't know any actor's name, so I was just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
Anyway,
no, apparently I don't either.
this was the cookout she was talking about later during the hand job scene.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, where she's like, I should have done it then, or whatever.
She said you didn't get what you wanted then, so I'm assuming he came on to her.
Oh. Interesting.
But he actually came on to her later.
Yeah.
But
oh man,
no, there was some good timing in this scene though, because
Hopefully that was his car in the hand job scene.
This is a random car was unlocked.
That's gonna take a minute to get all that.
Oh,
car
man.
in
Yeah,
it.
anything random car. Jesus.
Well, I'm talking about is I don't want it to be in my own car. Fuck that.
yeah, I think that Anna, not I call her Anna Nicole Smith.
Isn't that her name though? Anna. Her name is Anna though in the movie.
Oh yeah, her name is Anna. That, oh man,
Look what you've done.
Look what I've done.
He was already having trouble with names.
But see,
I
I
made it
think
even worse.
just a tidbit of information that Nichole Kidman was actually up for an award for best on-screen hand job. Damn it, Mike! Know your place. No, okay. This is actually where
Oh my god.
this is actually where it's during this cookout that Martin's talking to Steve, and he lets him know, he's like, "Hey, the other day in the garage, I seen Martin lingering about, and I said hi,
yeah.
and he's like, but he pretended not to see me, and I was like,
For some reason, I didn't acknowledge any of this garage stuff that went down in this movie because it's like now that you're saying it, yeah, okay, I
Well,
remember that, but I don't.
It's kind of weird though because him running in the garage is literally just a split. It's like a split second.
It's where the movie starts to hint that Martin's almost a little stalkerish.
Yeah. And then even that scene during the cookout, that one line, it's just, it almost kind of hides in the background. Like it's not very prominent. I mean, it's there, of course, obviously if you're watching, but like, no, all this kind of goes on really quickly. So yeah, it's pretty easy to miss.
Hand job went on really quickly. Wink, wink.
It didn't feel like it felt like that scene went on forever.
So cut to the next morning and now things are starting to get interesting. Bob forgot how to use his legs.
I know.
Yeah, just all of a sudden he's like, he can't get out of bed.
Taylor's old as time. He's concerned, Steve's concerned because now Bob's gonna be late for school. So he goes to get him out of bed and he's kind of getting irritated, but Bob's like, dude, I can't fucking use my legs, Dad. And so, yeah, they take him to the
If he
hospital.
said that, then holy shit. I would have loved to have said that.
That would have been
I'm like,
the
oh,
only
good,
scene with any type of emotion.
All right.
Steve and Anna take him to the hospital and everything looks fine. They run like all these tests and they can't figure it out. He's perfectly fine. And this scene is the first scene where they have the camera showing them on their way out of the hospital. They're riding the escalator down. Has anybody else here seen The Shining? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been
I'm
forever.
getting some real Shining vibes from this moment and a couple other moments.
I was a
that-
little disappointed in this scene. But that's
Why?
I'm
I know
a
you're
bad
thinking.
person.
It's like,
I know what you're
I'm
thinking.
a bad person.
They did all
I
the
was thinking it
tests.
too.
They kept him overnight, and then they released him the next day.
Well, because he can start walking again.
Wait.
I know what Mike's gonna say, and I'm
Wait,
waiting.
no, this okay. First of all, this is all the same day, so they're getting ready to leave because apparently he can use his legs again, and they're assuming he's doing this to just get out of his schoolwork or some bullshit like a test or something. But then when they hit the bottom of the escalator, he collapses again.
Not right
no,
away.
wait.
But yeah.
Wait.
Mike's
This is
face
what I
is glowing
want to.
over there.
Let me ask this before you come blurting it out because I think I know you a little bit. Are you upset
A little bit.
that he did not collapse on the escalator in like this endless fall?
Never
You
ending.
piece of shit!
Never ending falling down the stairs.
Hold up.
Did Bob not suffer enough in this fucking movie?
Hold up.
Like I didn't have to say a word. Everyone just knew.
No, not gonna lie. Me and Mike are on the same page. I was expecting to fall down the escalator.
He makes it to the bottom, takes a couple steps, and he just hits the floor.
Would have been the movie 1,000 times better if you had fell down the escalator, though.
And then like Patrick Starr just jumps in and is like, escalators.
Listen, Martin, I don't have time for this.
Okay, I'm gonna explain this very quickly so that I don't hold you up. Yes, It's exactly what you think. Just like you killed a member of my family, now you gotta kill a member of your family to balance things out, understand? I can't tell you who to kill, of course, that's for you to decide, but if you don't do it, they will all get sick and die. Bob will die, Kim will die, your wife will die. They will all get sick and die. 1, paralysis of the limbs. 2, refusal of food to the point of starvation. 3, bleeding from the eyes. 4, death. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't worry, you won't get sick, you just gotta stay calm, that's all. There, I said it as quickly as I could. I hope I haven't kept you too long.
They run more tests, and there's nothing wrong with Bob. They keep him overnight. They can't find a damn thing. And while all this is going on, Kim is gallivanting with Martin. They are like bonding. I mean, after all, she does think he's got a nice body.
Oh yeah, because when he shows like the armpit hair,
yes,
she's like, "You have a really nice body." At first, I didn't know what to think, but especially through the second time watching the movie, I really liked how everybody was acting the exact same.
Yes.
Everybody was the same character.
They really were.
It was really, everyone had the same robotic, awkward
I guess
delivery.
except for Martin, he was a little bit different. There was like something kind of off.
I feel like Steven did because as like shit started to happen, it just seemed like he got frustrated and just actually started to show frustration.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's like halfway through like the shit that was going on with Bob is when he actually started showing.
It is. It's really weird though because there's like this. There is emotion, but it's so like dialed back. It's almost like there isn't.
Yeah.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle. I mean, with the exception, Steve did freak out in the kitchen that one scene,
but it was still kind of subtle.
Like he was throwing shit.
Like he was throwing stuff and he was raising his voice, but he wasn't screaming and like his face wasn't like red, you know, and it was like happening, but not.
Yeah,
I think the only time that there was believable emotion was when he was crying later for like a minute outside.
Yeah, that's true. Because in that scene, he's still, like I said, he kind of dialed it back. He's like, whoa, let me check the silverware drawer. Nope, no pubes in here.
And I'm like, teeth? Pubes? I don't know where I put it.
I swear I had it. I swear I put it in here. I know I bought it.
Do you have any? No, you don't have any pubes.
How did this not get like the genre of comedy? I don't get it. It's so comedic. So, okay.
Pubes.
Anna and Steve go back to the hospital to check on Bob, and guess who's there? Anybody?
Martin.
And he really needs to talk to Steve. This has to happen.
The sex?
10 minutes.
Oh.
Yes, they need to relieve this tension now. No, okay, he does need to get away from everybody, and I think they go to like the cafeteria or something.
There's another awkward scene we skipped here.
What?
So Martin is just some kid his dad knows. They've met once.
Yes.
So when they walk in there and they're talking, he goes, "Oh yeah, I tried to help him go to the bathroom, but he didn't want it." And it's like, yeah, of course he didn't want you to fucking help him go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. Because he wet the bed.
He was just trying to be polite.
Hey, Bob, I know we just met, but I'll hold your dick while you pee.
See? Instant bond and friendship. Your dad.
Your dad likes
That's so gross. Oh my God.
It feels really nice.
Oh man. So we get to the cafeteria, and here's where, if shit wasn't already weird, it turns up to an 11 right here. Martin tells him that it's serious, and that they both knew that this time was gonna come. And Steve doesn't, he is so clueless and so confused.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
As he should be.
So I wanted to ask about this. Did he have an idea that this was coming?
I don't think so. I feel like he might have felt something deep down inside. I think he felt bad about what happened, and this is sort of like some weird karma situation.
I think it's like Martin's father dying, since Steve was the one who performed the surgery on him. I think probably it was afraid that it was gonna come back to haunt him.
Yeah, that's
so
what I
he
feel
basically
too.
used it as like, we knew something was gonna happen out of this.
Right, like pretty much like you knew there was going to be a day where you were going to have to pay for this.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't think he expected it this way.
No.
I
Eyeball
know.
blood is kind of surprising.
Yes. So Martin explains that just like you killed a member of my family, you must now kill a member of yours to balance things out.
Yeah.
He won't tell him who to kill. That's completely up to him. You could fucking figure it out. I don't care. Just do your thing. But if he doesn't do it in a timely fashion, everybody will die one by one. First Bob, then Kim, then the wife. And does anybody know?
But he won't die. But Steve won't die.
Steve won't die.
Steve gets to live.
Steve does get to live. And at first I'm like, that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, I was like, why wouldn't Steve just take his own life? But that makes more sense because it's like, no. I have to live with my dad being gone. You have to live with one of your loved ones being gone.
Okay.
So that made sense to me after I kind of looked at it that way. Can anyone here tell me or recall the 4 stages of how they'll die.
First it was gonna be the loss of limbs. Loss of movement of their limbs.
Yeah, paralysis, yes.
The paralysis. Then the refusal to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, loss of appetite.
Yeah.
To the point of starvation.
And then I think they were gonna start bleeding from the eyes.
Yes.
And then
the final stage, yeah.
And then death.
That's it. And apparently once you start bleeding from the eyes, you only have a couple hours. It's
I feel like that's probably true in most cases.
Yeah. Yes, I feel. Is that a thing? Can people bleed from their fucking eyes?
Doesn't Ebola do that to you?
Oh, does it? God, that'd be creepy as shit.
I thought that was herpes.
Whoa. You need to
herpes.
see a doctor because I don't think that's herpes. Martin calmly tells Steve, don't worry. He says, don't worry. You won't get sick. You just got to stay calm. That's all. Oh, and one more thing. You got a few days to decide who to kill. Right after the scene, it kind of lingers on them for a second. And then it cuts to the security escort.
Yeah, I really like that.
Right out of the building. And I'm like, yes, that was really good. Meanwhile, back in the hospital, Steve is trying to murder his son with a donut. Holy shit.
He wants him to eat because he's scared.
No, and I get that.
I mean, but it's fucked up what he's dead, but still.
Obviously, what Martin said to him is really weighing on him, and he's freaking out. And then especially when he says something about like, hey, has Bob eaten anything? And they're like, no, he's not hungry. And he's like, eat the donuts. Eat all the fucking donuts. Eat this donut. And he's like,
I want this box gone in 15 minutes.
He's like fisting it down his throat.
I am looking for a daddy to like force nuts into my mouth. I'm sorry, donuts.
No, dude.
That's what I'm looking for.
I'm like, oh my God. I felt so bad for Bob. And it just gets worse for this kid.
The mom is just like, he doesn't want to eat donuts right now. Knock it off. Stop it. Stop
I
putting
like how
donuts
their
down his
assumption also
throat.
is how strict are these parents? Their assumption, original one is, oh, he just doesn't want to eat the donut because he knows we'll get mad at him.
Yes.
It's like, what? the
We're
fuck?
giving you permission to eat this donut. Don't worry, we're not going to
I
be
think
mad
they're
at
just
you.
covering their bases. Like, listen, everything's fine. Eat the donut, please.
And oh
Just
man,
eat the fucking donut.
Yeah, I know. And I'm sorry, man. I am on Bob's side, man. I don't care. I don't know anybody who can eat a full box of donuts in 5 minutes. Bullshit.
Isaiah has raised his hand.
All right. So this is
Yes.
going on the YouTube channel. We're going to go get a nice big box of donuts. And
Yes.
we're going for
We don't
this.
know how many
Wait.
donuts were in that box, though.
Okay,
We have
Baker's
we
dozen.
have the relative
Baker's
size.
done. Baker done.
The bacon done and make it donuts.
we will get it. And man,
wish you
I'm
took
going to
me
make
outside.
sure.
I assumed it was like a half dozen box.
I am going to make sure that they are the driest fucking donuts
Okay,
ever.
that's cruel.
I will
That
glaze
will
each
take way
donut for
too
you.
long.
We get a little bit more of Kim hanging out with Martin. At this point, they're in her room, and it is made clear that she is not on her period, and apparently she is DTF. She is like,
this is
She
kind
took
of
off her
weird.
clothes. I was like,
yeah.
I shouldn't be
Because,
seeing this.
Like, they're cuddling
Apparently
up
her
on the
mother
chair.
taught her how to do everything because
Oh,
like
yeah.
she just goes general aesthetic on the side.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. I think that's
Unless,
weird.
of course, the dad taught her that, which makes it even weirder.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
But again, he does obviously suffer from alcoholism. Fathers with alcoholism. That stuff happens. Again, weird metaphor going on here in the movie. Don't know. But he's like, hey, are you on your period? She's like, no. And he's like, oh, okay. Then she takes her clothes off because, like, obviously that's where he was headed with that question.
Yeah.
And then after she's like on the bed, like, take me. He's like, I'm out.
Yes. He's got stuff to
A
do.
weird power move.
Yes.
Like, hey, you want to fuck? Good, I'm leaving.
It's like he flexed so hard. I was like, yeah,
Oh,
let's do this. And he's like,
yeah, that was
I have to
really
remember
weird.
that one.
Okay, all right. Oh man. Whew.
I feel like I would get hit so hard. I did that to my old girlfriend. She was like, fuck you.
All
Like,
right.
you
Try
go
it
sleep on the
and
floor.
let us know how it works out next week.
Did you see how devoted she was to him after that though?
The way the relationship plays out, I have a lot of questions. But here's the
It's almost like more along the lines of worship instead of relationship,
Yeah.
which
actually
Again,
kind of makes
another
sense.
weird.
He's got
that one,
Metaphor.
Yes.
that one I believe actually is supposed to be a metaphor.
We're back at the hospital, and Steve is now, if he wasn't before, he is really losing his shit because they can't find nothing wrong with Bob, and there's something wrong with Bob. I mean, clearly, obviously, as a parent, you would kind
he
of freak
doesn't want to
out.
believe it's psychological.
Right, and that's what they're trying to tell him. Like, hey, we can't find
I
nothing.
really liked a scene that came up here.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure you do, you sicko. Okay, we'll get to it. Point it out when we get there. I hope it's not what I'm about to say.
No, it's probably not.
Okay.
I hope it's the same scene that I want to bring up in a little bit.
So they're trying to tell him that, look, we can't find nothing. It has to be psychosomatic. It's in his head. He will get over this, and this just isn't good enough.
I like how his wife was trying to back up and say, "Yeah, it's got to be a psychosomatic thing." He's basically told her to fuck off.
Yeah. She's like saying it's got to be this, and he goes, "Look, you're a great person. You're a good doctor. I'd come to your opinion, but right now I don't give a fuck."
Yeah,
Just like your opinion
because
means nothing.
so what does she do?
Yeah, I can't remember. Was it something
like
with
an eye
eyes?
doctor.
Yeah, I thought so.
I like the one part when he's like, if he needs glasses, I'll call you.
Yes.
Like,
oh man,
you're not a real doctor. Get the fuck out.
Yes, and I get it. He's
you're less than a dentist. He didn't say that, but I'm just being a dick.
Yeah.
You gotta watch your background dentists.
But no,
dentists are not real doctors.
But here's the thing, like they're telling him it's in his head, and I think that she wants to believe it and just move on. Like, we will deal with this at home. We'll overcome this as a family. We could tackle this together. And
because she doesn't know. Steve hasn't told her, right? Because it's still weighing on him. Like, shit.
Yes,
this is my fault.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. She doesn't know.
Let me just say right here, there are two things I never want to do with Colin Farrell. I mean, I hang
balls.
No, surprisingly, that's not one of them.
Things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, because I hang out with him so much. Here's the deal.
Oh, yeah.
One, I never want this motherfucker to teach my kids how to walk. Ever. Number two, I never want to play the secret game with him.
No.
Never want to play the secret game.
No.
Okay.
What? This is one of the awkward scenes I was talking about.
Okay, let me just say this real quick. If I were Bob, and I were having issues that were possibly psychosomatic, my dad throwing me down a hallway and telling me he jerked off my drunk grandpa is not going to put me in a better mental state at all.
He was like fucked up because it's like parks the wheelchair and he basically toss him like, yeah, walk.
Oh my God.
Walk. Come on, bitch. Walk.
Yeah, he is like just.
I mean, you know,
The
the thing
whole
is, I
time-
get it though. I get it. I really do, because he's like,
He's frustrated.
If this is just in your head and you're playing this out because there's some mental stuff going on, if I drop you,
yeah,
you know, you might, as a like a natural reaction, just try to stand up real quick.
Right,
you
like
want to fall on your
reflex,
face.
right.
Okay, so this guy's a doctor, and they already did the needle test on his toe. When they think people are faking being paralyzed, they stab your toe with a needle so that you can't not react to that.
And here's the thing. I get it. All right. You want him to confess because in your mind, that's the only way this makes it rational. You want him to confess he's faking this shit.
That's a secret he should have taken to the grave.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey, you know what? Let's play the secret game. So like when I was younger, I jerked off your grandpa when he was drunk. Your turn.
Like,
No!
when he was going into detail
there were a
about
lot of
this, I'm like,
details.
stop. Please, stop.
I'm
Like, oh.
glossing over this because there was a
Good.
real buildup with this story.
It was a build-up and it ended with an explosion.
I was
yeah.
gonna say there's a real build-up and a release.
And I think
Apparently all over the sheets.
oh my God. And I think Bob looked at him.
everywhere.
I think Bob kind of looked at him and was like, you know what? You win. I am not playing this game. I'm done.
I'm playing this game with you, Dad. I'm scared.
Was this when he also threatened him?
To eat his own hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will cut off
love
your
this.
hair and I will feed it to you.
Because first of all, he's trying to be nice. He's like, listen, if this is something that you're just doing for what's the word I'm looking for? Like attention or something, like I'm not gonna be mad about it. Okay.
Yeah.
If there's something else going on, I won't be mad, but I'll just not let you watch TV for 2 months.
Yes.
Which is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
No, he
And
says
if you're
it's like
lying to me, I will
he said
cut
this
off your hair
won't
and
be
feed
like
you.
anything else. It's like I'm not just gonna have no TV for 2 months. You're saying he's
No,
not
at,
gonna do
at
that.
first,
Did he say that?
yeah, because
I
at
thought he
first
said-
he's like, if you just tell me now, I'm just gonna punish you a little bit.
Yes.
But if you do not tell me and I find out that you're just fucking around,
It's going to be harsher. Yeah.
I am going to make you eat your hair.
Yeah. He was already grounded at that point.
Literally going to make you eat your fucking hair, Bob.
Yes. Which, by the way,
Cut
Bob
your
has a
hair
lot of
off,
hair,
feed it.
and I want to throw out there.
That's a lot of hair. Oh.
Yes, I want to throw
That's
out
a
there
meal.
that I don't know exactly. He's a cardiologist. Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not a doctor. And I know that if you have too much hair in your system, you will die. He cannot eat his own fucking hair.
Maybe a little bit at a time, you know? Like
You
just a few
can't.
strands a day.
No, it doesn't work that way. I've
You'll
watched it
poop
on
it
1,000
out.
ways to die.
You will not die.
A girl died from eating her hair. It was like a thing. She didn't even eat her hair. She just chewed on it. But over time, because follicles and shit would end up in her mouth and she swallowed it down, she died because she had a lot of hair in her system. It's a true story.
He'll go slower.
Is it though?
You know, supposedly. we get a quick scene where Steve pays the Martin household a quick visit, and he's pissed off.
Quick, angry visit.
Yes. You know,
I
it's
could
like,
just imagine the neighbors like looking out the window, like the fuck's going on.
Yes.
He's like,
Are
"Oh, fuck you and your mom."
Also, like Martin,
Yes!
Martin also said it's like I live in a bad neighborhood in a not very nice house. That was a like nice little neighborhood.
Yeah,
That was a nice
I
house.
wonder, oh my
a
God,
nice
yeah.
neighborhood.
I wonder if he was just being modest because of the fancy house the doctor had, but like I thought the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
your house is great. This neighborhood is
I
awesome.
think he was just meant in comparison because he did use the words, I live in a not so nice, like not so nice
Oh,
as
yeah.
your house.
Okay.
That's true.
That
That's
makes
true.
more sense. Like
But yeah, their house was
I was
nice.
expecting like the projects,
Super
and
nice.
they own this nice quaint little neighborhood.
I know,
Yeah.
they got like
It's
a
like we're right
2,000
now.
square foot house.
No, it's well kept. It looks
know.
good. The neighborhood looks
Fuck.
not as sketchy as mine. It's so great.
The roof isn't caving in like everybody's house around here, including my
Yes.
own.
Oh man, but okay, so right after this, and this happens very quickly, but right after this, he's now coming clean with Anna about his 6 months meeting up with Martin and all this shit that happened before. And now, he was always kind of a little off, but now he's dangerous. And here's the thing, we learn in this scene that Martin's father died while he was operating on him, but he still kept out the information about the fact he was drinking.
No,
he
well,
reminded me
he
of-
told him. He said, because she's like, did you drink? He's like, I had one before, but that didn't affect the surgery.
Yeah, that's right,
Because it's
that's
never a surgeon's fault. It's the anesthesiologist's fault.
You're right. He does say after the wife questions it that he had a little to drink, but he said that had nothing to do with the outcome of the surgery. Do you guys believe that?
No.
No, not at all.
What do you mean? I
Like,
believe what?
yes, I did have a drink, but I mean that had nothing to do with how the outcome was.
I mean,
Until you actually had
personally,
to.
I believe that because like I wouldn't say I have a high tolerance for alcohol,
Right.
but like 1 or 2 drinks, I'm not going to feel that at all.
But that's what that's why I kind of question it, because it's like, I mean, first of all, no, I don't want my surgeon drinking before
Unless he does
operating
something
on me.
hard shit.
Second, if his dad was an alcoholic and he was supposedly a former alcoholic, what does 1 or 2 drinks to them actually mean? He could have
Right.
been absolutely shit faced.
And because he says 1 or 2 drinks, though.
Yeah.
And what size
He's like
are these
1 or,
drinks?
Yeah, he's like 1 or 2 drinks.
Yeah.
He goes
1 or
out
2
with
He
his
said he
fucking
had like a
fist,
couple
yeah.
drinks. And then Michael?
Martin.
No,
Matthew.
Bartholomew.
Matthew.
I thought you were talking to me for a second. I'm like,
Bartholomew.
whoa, that's
Bartholomew.
You don't call me Michael.
Oh man.
No,
Michael.
I was just really
What are your
confused.
opinions on this, Michael?
Yes, I'm like, what?
No, Matthew. 'Cause I think later that's when Matthew said it. Like he
says the exact
He said
same
he
line.
had. He said he saw him have to, but it's like seeing what he had versus what he actually had before the surgery is 2 different things. Because first, the husband's lying. 2, Matthew don't know how many he had behind closed doors before he came out or before he walked in to see him. Hey, you're having a couple drinks. You shouldn't have done that.
Also, I like that he gives the reverse of what Steve said. He goes, "Oh, it's never the anesthesiologist's fault.
Yes.
It's always the surgeon's fault.
Right.
It can't be. Like
Yeah, that's what I've learned about.
I mean, everybody's got to take fault in it somewhere, but you can't just be like, it's one person's fault. Everybody's working on the same person.
This is a really good insight on the relationship between a surgeon and the anesthesiologist. Like when shit hits the fan, fingers are just being pointed at each other.
Exactly.
He also tells Anna that, they've been hanging out because he just felt bad for him. There's a scene, again, another brief one, where we see Kim singing in her choir.
Everything was going perfectly fine, and the song was going great, and all of a sudden, I think, they were getting close to the end of the song, she goes,
Yeah.
that's it.
And I think they only sounded good because you could not hear her over everybody else.
I really think so. This brings us to the hospital scene that I think is a very pivotal moment. And I don't get it. I'm not going to say I do. With Kim's recent paralysis, she ends up in the hospital alongside her brother. And her phone rings. Okay, it's Martin. We can, at least I, can tell from this one-sided conversation that Martin wants her to get up and go look out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I can't. And then she's like, well, wait, you think I can? And so she does. Yeah. She uncovers, she stands up. Now her legs are working just fine. She walks over to the window where we just seen Martin on the cell phone calling her, standing in the middle of this parking lot.
Yeah.
When she looks down, we can tell that Martin sees her.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I don't see you. And it shows from her point of view down back at the parking lot
that he's not there.
He's not there.
Yeah.
Even though he was just there.
Ah.
I think he's Jesus.
Okay. No, wait a minute. Hold your horses
I mean,
just for 1
half
second.
jokingly, but also kind of.
No.
He could be Jesus.
Yeah.
100%. Here's the thing. I'm on board that he is some sort of deity.
he's representing the deity.
First of all, I'm not religious, so this is really hard for me to kind of wrap my head around to begin with. But I mean, it just, I couldn't get like on board with this whole like, okay, he's supposed to be like a god or some sort of deity, and it's like this like eye for an eye. Well, you killed one of mine, so fuck it, you're gonna kill one of yours now. Seems a bit harsh.
I don't think you really need to be religious. Just if you know mythology and lore, it to a degree makes sense.
I mean,
plus he did say later on, he's like, I don't know if this is really fair, but it's the best I can come up with.
Yeah, it's like his best idea of like, justice. Yeah,
it'll work.
From what I've seen, most gods are kind of depraved in
well,
most stories. Like
I guess
they are almost never the good guys.
My Greek mythology education solely comes from Disney's Hercules, and that's it. That's all I got. That is all I got. And it's very happy.
Like 90% of mine comes from that as well.
So I still don't like Martin. I've hated him. First of all, before he even became like this kind of an asshole, like antagonist, I hated him from the start. I could not stand this guy.
Steve was drinking on the job, and he's a heart surgeon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you not hate him?
No. I'm not sticking up for him. Don't get me wrong.
Sticking up for Bob.
Like, here's the thing. Yes, I am.
Bob.
Poor Bob. But here's the thing. Like, he didn't single out Martin's dad. He was an alcoholic, and he had just happened to be drinking on the day he was doing his surgery.
Right.
First of all, I'm not so sure a surgery where you're working on somebody's heart is 100% infallible.
No surgery is 100% safe.
Well, right, but I'm just saying to say like, well, there's no reason at all. He should have came out of that 100%. There's always a risk with every surgery.
Well, he had a high survival chance.
Okay, and that's fine. That's perfectly fair. I can get behind that.
As long as no one fucks up during the surgery, he has a high survival chance.
But I'm just saying,
something doesn't go wrong.
It does, but shit does hit the fan. I'm not saying it wasn't his drinking. I'm just saying all I'm getting at is I'm just saying like I don't believe if Steve was an alcoholic that he's sitting there like, oh, I'm doing surgery on Martin's dad today. Well, fuck it, I can drink for that one. I don't think that was his thought process.
Well, no, but
he didn't even know who the fuck Martin was.
Surgery day, I need to steady my nerves.
Well, no, but I don't think a drunk driver thinks, oh man, there's gonna be some kids out on the road today. I better go out drinking and driving. It just happens, and
right.
he's still to blame.
Right, he is to blame. That's perfectly fine. No, and I'm not saying. I don't know.
Plus, I don't think Martin is really like. He doesn't seem too upset about what happened. It's not like he's like, I'm trying to get revenge. He's just like, this has to be weighed out. It just has to be.
Yeah, it has to be.
I have no choice.
It's balancing the scales.
I just have to do this.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. Like I say,
you caused the death, so a death has to happen to keep it fair.
Right. No. 100%. I get behind all this. I'm just saying, like, he didn't like single out Martin's dad. Steve. He just apparently had a problem with drinking, and there was just a shitty outcome behind it all. Martin apparently is the one kid you don't want to get on his bad side.
You want to get on his mom's side?
I think anybody could probably get on the mom's side as long as he got good hands. He's got. I'm.
Are you in good hands?
No. And so yeah, okay. So the phone call finishes up, and she goes to walk back to the bed, and she falls. And poor Bob. He just like
Bob just yeets himself out of bed. Like, I want to walk too.
Yes, he's like, I want to go to the window, and he goes to get out of bed, and oh my god,
he just like thunk.
Yeah, he
like
face plants it. Oh my god,
just like. Oh shit, Bob!
Like a rock. Like a rock. We should start a group.
You caused this tragic thing to happen. I don't understand why I should have to pay the price. Why my children should have to pay the price.
You know, not long after my dad died, someone told me that I ate spaghetti the exact same way he did. They said, what an extraordinary impression this fact had made on them. Look at the boy. Look how he eats spaghetti. Exactly the same way his father did. He sticks his fork in, he twirls it around and round and round and round and round. Then he sticks it in his mouth. That time, I thought I was the only one who ate spaghetti that way. Me and my dad. Later, of course, I found out that everyone eats spaghetti the exact same way. Exact same way. Exact same way.
I can't remember exactly. If you guys want to elaborate on this, that's fine. But we get a short scene of Anna talking to Steve about the incident. And I think at this point, she's picking up on something that could be supernatural at this point. At least that's how I felt right here. And he tries to convince her it's all just a coincidence. The kids are getting better. And she's like, no, they're not. They're getting worse.
Yeah.
And so she takes things into her own hands.
Literally.
Yes. She really does.
Well, there was the part where she went to Martin's house. When was that?
This actually happens right now. Before she goes and meets up with Matthew, she does go, because I think she tries to kind of rationalize with Martin. She goes there oh my God, we're eating the fucking spaghetti.
Yes.
God, yes. He's got sauce on his face and shit. It's like, I want to slap this kid.
Spaghetti like his dad, like a jackass.
Yeah.
But everybody does it that. Yeah.
Everybody eats spaghetti like that.
So we're all jackasses.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
So, but the first thing
I want to know anybody who eats spaghetti and it doesn't get on their face. Who eats it that neatly?
Well, I mean, first off, like,
I don't let it linger there.
Yeah, like he twirled up a bunch, struck it around the plate, twirled up a bunch more. Like he just kept going.
He didn't even just twirl it. Like he didn't even just twirl it where you just twirl your fork. He just went.
First thing out of his mouth is like,
spaghetti.
My mom. No, the first thing out of his mouth is like, my mom flirts with Steve.
Well,
No,
the first thing was
he said
Steve
the other way
flirts
around,
with
yeah.
my mom.
Wait, what?
Steve flirts with her and she's into it.
All right, so there's this whole, he blurts out the whole they're flirting thing, and he really hopes that they get together. And man, the spaghetti noises and him eating this are so annoying.
Patrick.
And okay, so here's the thing. Explain this to me.
Actually, I was saying he didn't seem upset about his dad's death. He actually says right here he was more upset about people lying to him that he eats spaghetti like his dad than he was about his dad's death.
Yes, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, right?
What is with this spaghetti analogy? I didn't get it. He's like, here's his story. I ate the spaghetti the same way my dad did, and everybody thought this was like the most incredible thing. And then I realized we all eat it the same way.
The whole point there is he looked up to his dad, and he was super happy to have something that he was as similar to his dad as.
Oh.
And when he found out it was just something everyone did, it crushed him.
Okay.
I think he was upset with the dishonesty of people.
Yes.
Because he doesn't seem too upset that his dad was dead from the operation. I think he was upset with the dishonesty that he had been drinking before. He's not admitting it. He's not following through with like the moral things he should be doing.
I see. So
maybe, I don't know.
That being said, if he admitted and kind of came forward in the very beginning, like, man, I fucked up. I'm sorry, guys. And like,
maybe,
suffered the consequences.
I mean, if you think about it this way, any doctor who fucks up in that way should have lost their job.
Yes.
There was
100%.
He had no consequences, so Martin had to give him consequences.
That makes dude, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But I'm watching this and I guess I just failed to see it. And then he's just like, we ate it exact same way. Exact same way. Exact same way. And I'm like, whoa. It's like, what? I was so lost.
It was still weird. Like, you're not wrong.
Oh, yeah. No.
No, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I feel like even the normal scenes, the way they did everything just wasn't normal.
The normal scenes.
The normal scenes weren't normal.
So,
all the normal
Why
ones
are
are
you
normal.
calling them normal?
No, because
This movie was normal, but it was not
it's
normal.
so strange that like you just gotta take what you can get.
No, but here's the thing. If you take the scenes with the kids hanging out in the room and you take off this weird monotone and put them more relaxed and acting like kids saying the shit and stuff that they're doing, I think it makes it more of a normal scene. You don't question as much about it.
So is that the whole point? Is that why they had everyone do such robotic, awkward deliveries throughout the whole movie? Was to just, I don't know. It makes everything seem so weird.
The best way I put my own rational thinking on how this was filmed is, I think, for me, by making everything as weird and strange and uncomfortable and awkward as it does, I feel like it almost puts you in their position. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you're not like watching a normal movie where you get one weird, awkward scene that is just like out of place. This is the whole movie. Like, no, I'm not, no joke. This is the whole movie. You feel strange and you feel awkward. And I could see this movie being very off-putting to a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think it's a very thought out, conscious choice from the director and the writer to kind of pull you in to how these people feel, in a sense. And I don't know if that's legit. That's kind of how I felt about it.
I didn't, dude. This whole movie, I wanted to shut off the entire time, but I couldn't. Because I'm like, I need to watch this.
No,
I need to get through this.
I can totally understand that.
What's funny is I definitely thought the movie was awkward, but I never wanted to shut it off at any point. I wanted to see how
it was a good movie, but I just like, I don't know.
And that's why I think, that actually the way you feel about this movie Again, if you're uncomfortable, totally get. I can't fault somebody for not liking this movie because it makes you feel awkward.
Yeah,
totally
I
get
think
it.
that might be the point.
Totally, exactly. But I think this was purposeful. I think this is 100%. It's meant to pull you in that way, and I think it's a testament to how this movie was made. I think that they did a great job because I think they hit the nail on the head of whatever the fuck they were going for perfectly.
I think if you can't make it through it, then they did it right.
Yes. And okay, let's talk about awkward here for a second because now Matthew's getting the parking lot handy.
Oh, Jesus. This is where we chose to pause?
That's where I paused the movie.
Yes, because we finished. Yeah, we finish up with Anna trying to talk. She can't. She's not getting anywhere with rationalizing with Martin, and so that scene just kind of ends. He has to get ready for school, and he's like, "I'm sorry, but I got stuff to do. I gotta go." And so so she meets up with Matthew at a diner, and she's asking about the death of Martin's father, and like he's just like first he's like, "Look, I can't give you these hospital files. It doesn't work that way." And he's like, "But I see so many people. I don't know if I recall any of this." And she's like really nothing. And he's like, "Well, some stuff's coming back, but if I tell you what's in it for me." And that's when she's like, "Well, I'll give you,
I'll give you this sweet handy."
Yeah, she's like, "I'll give you what it was I was trying to give you at the party thing." What was this?
I swear she said, "I'll give you what you wanted at the party," which
Yeah.
implied he came onto her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And so then he's like, "When?" And she's like, "Right now." So yeah. And at first was this.
If she was smart, she would have been like, "I'll do it later. Like, I'll do it tomorrow. Give me the info," and just fucking tell him to fuck off.
Matthew's a doctor. He's no fool. But actually, here's the thing. I think she actually got the information first because when I was watching the scene, I thought she's just like going at it while they're having this conversation. But I think
I can't talk during that.
I think
Not gonna lie.
I think that during this scene, as
You're
the
welcome for
camera
that, by the
is as the camera's kind of like zooming in on the car, I think it's just telling you that all this is said beforehand, and then now they're finishing up with her payment.
I love how much we're just getting to know each other here. You're just having a great time.
Yes.
Who else can talk during a hand job? I mean,
show of hands.
show of hand jobs. No, and once the scene was over, like right when he was like, "Oh, I'm done," I was like thinking, is she wearing rubber gloves and is taking them off in this sloppy fashion with,
Yes, she better be doing it properly.
like-
Oh, shit, wait. There's a scene where she tends to his wound at some point. No spoilers here, but she's tending to something while she's wearing rubber gloves, and she takes them off. How did she take them off? Does anybody remember?
I swear she did it the right way.
I
know what
can't
you're
either.
talking about.
Yes. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Maybe you'll remember right then we get
I don't
there.
think I was paying that much attention to the little details at that point.
Yeah, because now I'm trying to make sense of everything else. I wasn't paying attention there. But no, okay, so she finishes Matthew. And
she finishes Matthew.
And we're moving on, but ultimately what he tells her is, yes, Stephen had a couple of drinks that morning, and it's not his fault. The anesthesiologists can do no wrong. It's always the surgeons.
Which is the opposite.
Yes.
Of what Steven said.
It's really
Who is
weird.
telling the truth?
Yeah. Here's the thing. You both were in there. You both done fucked up.
Why isn't Martin or Matthew getting attacked by Martin?
Ooh.
That's a sequel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Things are getting dark here because Steve wakes Ann up in the morning with a little bit of a surprise. He abducted Martin. And this poor kid, I hate the
so
kid.
Creepy.
Oh, yes. Oh, man.
yeah.
I know this is where things are like really getting like I am in this movie.
Yeah.
I am like so deep in this movie because I shut up. Okay.
Was Martin's mom over?
No.
Because he should have called her.
She doesn't like my hands.
She
Anyway.
wanted to have some of her tart.
He abducted Martin, and I don't like this kid, but he doesn't deserve this.
Are you sure?
No, you see him, he looks like he got the shit beat out of him.
What? No. Fuck. Now you're defending him?
Fuck that guy. I don't know. I will go against whatever you guys say.
I know, like before
any one of you.
You're like, oh no, totally he has this coming. He doesn't deserve this. Oh no, totally he has this coming. You're like shifting the blame, like all the
Everybody deserves
Because
to
somebody
just
has
get
to do that
fucked.
here, so that's what Russell's here for.
okay,
shaking it up.
But no, I felt bad because
Russell's poking the bear.
I mean, I hate this kid, but he's man, Steve is just he is beating the shit out of this kid.
Yeah.
I think he like punches a tooth out of his face, and he already looks battered and bruised, and he's sitting down there all alone in the fucking dark. Which, by the way, okay,
that's what you're concerned with.
Yes,
I would rather sit in the dark basement than be punched and like tied to a chair.
Well, okay, but he got punched, beaten up, and then left in the dark. It's not like
that's the least of his worries right now. That is the least of his
what we're
worries.
learning here is Pat is very scared of this.
Yes, there could be clowns. Okay, so anyway.
Oh, all right. Well, I got you there.
So this is where the analogy I think comes in that Mike was talking about he didn't like. And actually, it was upon my second viewing, because I didn't catch this the first time, I guess. Anna goes to clean up the car because when he abducted Martin, he got blood in the trunk. So she's out there cleaning. And so Steve is with Martin. And Martin at some point was apparently close enough to take a bite.
He just goes full fucking like rabid animal mode.
Yes.
Latches onto his arm.
Well, yeah, because Martin's like, I want to show you what I'm talking about. Because again, Martin's like, you know, it's kind of like an eye for an eye deal. You have to do something now to balance this. Let me give you an example.
Right. And I didn't see this. I didn't see this the first time I watched it, but he does. He bites Steve, and Steve is pissed. And before Steve can retaliate, Martin takes and he bites a chunk off his own arm. And he's like, see, it's a metaphor. And I didn't get it, but I got it the second time where it's like, look you were pissed 2 seconds ago. But
now he's just confused and pissed.
Well, I know. I don't even think he's confused and pissed. Now he's just like kind of confused. But look I don't think he's angry anymore. I think that's his point.
Yeah, he's like, you know, I did it to you, then I did it to myself. Kind of like if some guy walks up to you and punches you in the face, then punches himself in the face.
Right.
You're going to be like, all right, dude.
Yeah,
no, I don't think I will.
No, I think I don't know. I feel like you might be like same situation, confused, but like, really? I don't know. I don't know what would you do?
High five, walk away.
Yes.
Well done, sir.
Come in for some lemonade. Yes. I don't know.
Martin's mom's lemonade.
Yes. This is a question I have. Is Kim somehow connected with Martin?
No,
I think she's. It's almost like. Worshipping him.
I get that they kind of got into this weird relationship, but I was picking up vibes were almost like
I think
she
he
had
told
the
her
delusion that they were going to run away together. None of this what was happening actually mattered. It was just those two.
But why I question this is because right before we see her in this room with her brother, Steve was getting ready to like shoot Martin.
The reason, because obviously when they were dating, Martin was telling her all about this. She knew all this info because she
knew what was going to happen.
She even in the earlier hospital scene where she gets to walk,
right?
She calls her mother out on it. It's like, do you feel it yet? Are your legs hurting? Are they going numb? So she knows all the things that are going to happen. She's just waiting.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, but I realized what Pat's saying too, because like later on after that scene, she knew that he was being threatened with a gun.
Right.
But
she wasn't there.
She says he didn't. She obviously hears the gunshot. They're in the same house.
Well, yeah.
She goes to Bob. He didn't kill him, and he's like, well, "How do you know?" He's like, "Because we would have died."
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's
because
right, he
you're
did say
basically
that.
killing one person.
Right.
But you'd be end up killing four.
Yeah, because he did say that. He's like, you won't understand it when you kill me, because when you shoot me, 4 people are going to die. You're probably not going to get it, but that's what's going to happen.
All right. No, that makes sense. I guess I didn't realize that Martin filled her in on all the deets apparently because
Well, I mean, it just seemed like she had the same info that everyone else had.
Right.
Or at
Well,
least
that's why I was questioning it.
Martin and Steve had.
Right. Well, that's exactly what I was questioning it because I guess I didn't pick up on that, which does make sense because they were very close. But like, it was just weird watching it because it's like he shoots, doesn't kill him, and then the first thing she tells Bob is that like, oh, you know, he didn't kill him, wise choice, because, and then she says, I think word for word, exactly what Martin just said. And then she's smoking. So I'm like, it's like she Martin somehow or something? I was very confused.
Maybe Martin's inside her.
Gloves are coming off from everyone. And this is why I think the mom is a bitch. Sorry, I'm saying it right now because here's the thing. I can understand the kids. They're scared, right? You got Bob who flat out says, you know, to Kim, he goes, well, you know, mom and dad just bought me a piano, so, you know, pretty much insinuating you're going to be going. And then
they don't want that piano to go to waste.
Well, right. So that's when she retaliates.
Are like, I mean, if you're going to spend like $3,000 to $4,000 on it, you want to kill him?
Yeah. Well, but no. So that's when she does retaliate and tells him like, oh, hey, when you die, can I have your MP3 player? And then here's the thing, like now everybody
that hit home with Bob.
Oh yeah, it did. everybody is like fighting for their lives after this point. It's so crazy, Bob. You know, he's cutting his hair and he's like, you know, I kind of want to be what mom is, but now I see the error of my ways. I want to be a cardiologist, Dad, just like you.
The era?
Yes.
I see the era.
Oh, no.
Whatever. So, okay. And this is why I say the mom's a bitch. Because she's just like, kill one of the kids. We can always have another. Fuck you, lady.
Yeah, I felt so bad when Bob like pulls himself into the kitchen. He's like, look, Dad, let's cut my hair.
I know.
And I'll go water the plants now, Dad.
I mean, he's like, I'll do it.
Man.
We can do it tomorrow.
I don't like Steve entirely as a character because obviously he's the reason all this shit's happening. But I feel that if killing himself to save the others was an option, he would do it.
Yeah.
But the mom's just like,
because he always seems like the type to take the easy way out.
Like, what do you mean?
He does.
Because if killing himself was a solution, that'd be the easy way out. He wouldn't have to make a hard decision.
Well, okay, but easy way out or not, I think a loving parent in that situation would be like, I want my kids to be safe. If this is what I have to do, I'll do it. And the mom's like, well, if killing you isn't an option, I want to live, so take one of them.
I mean, she should have said, well, just kill me.
Right, yeah.
That's what I thought was going to happen. I thought they'd come to that.
Right.
I thought,
but no,
sure.
you learn she's just a bitch. She's selfish.
There was a point where they had a conversation, and it's a fucked up conversation, trying to decide who or if they should kill one and who they should kill because we can always have another kid. I'm just like,
yes,
but that's fucked up. That's your children.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I mean, like her parenting instincts are just like out the fucking window.
Well, but then he goes to the school to ask the principal or whatever which one is better.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a shitty parent. I don't really know my kids. Can you just tell me which one of them's better?
Yeah, and then
better at being what, a human? Like, what the fuck is he looking for?
That's such an odd
both
way.
pretty much just as good as each other.
We got to invest in one of these. Which one's failing right now? Like,
right, like that is so weird to me. Like that is your gauge to figure out on this
just
weird
one excels
scale.
at something, the other excels at something else. That's literally all it was.
And it's
But he's
weird.
grasping, you know.
Yeah,
doesn't
he
know
is.
what to do.
And I thought it was funny because at first I feel like the conversation's kind of subtle. He's asking about their academics and like their behavior and all this shit. And then like he kind of almost flat out asks, if you had to choose one.
Here's the question.
Yeah.
If the principal had chosen one, would he have gone with that?
Well, I don't know if you necessarily would have gone with it, but I do think that would have definitely helped. But yeah, that scene was really weird. And here's the thing: we get a huge clue in this scene about this story that the movie's based on, because that was the essay that he was saying that they were all really proud of. She did the essay on Iphigenia.
Yeah.
Did what?
I don't know it.
Agamemnon or whatever his name is. It's a story of him going to Troy. He
Yes.
accidentally kills one of Artemis's sacred deer.
Yep.
She's like, you have to kill your daughter to make up for it.
Exactly. So she wrote this amazing essay on the tragedy of Iphigenia, and yeah, so he mentions that, and that's like I say, if you look that up, that is this movie.
Let me be the one who atones for your sins, Dad. Kill me right here in front of your eyes so that you can be sure that I die in case of fate spares me at the last moment. Kill me right here in front of you and leave me with the ultimate joy of saving my own mother, my beloved brother, from certain death. Tell him. Dad, please. I would do anything for you. I would even die for you, and here's my chance to prove it.
Anna goes downstairs, tends to his wounds, kisses his feet. She takes the kids down there, and I'm not sure why. Was there a reason for that?
I think just because
He asked
I think
to
she was
see
just
them,
watching.
didn't he?
Oh, did he? I thought she was just kind of keeping an eye.
Because wasn't
on
he
him.
like, oh, thanks for bringing him down here?
Oh,
You know,
yeah. He did say
really
that.
appreciate
Okay.
that.
But yeah,
Well.
so that just kind of happened. That's the end of that scene. This is where Anna tries to convince Steve to kill a child because they can always have another. And then she goes right into the general anesthetic game. But Steve is just
But
like,
she got actually fully naked this time.
oh, yeah. And it's just like, click, lights out. I mean, come on, at this point,
Let
yeah.
me think about murdering our children when we have sex.
Yeah, I mean, I get what you're trying to do, lady, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. At least it shouldn't. It shouldn't work. Kim tries to crawl away, and then when they get her back, my question...
But she made it really far.
She did.
So
I wanted to point out, like, she was struggling hard in the basement to get over, like, the 3 feet. But as soon as she apparently made it back up those stairs, which also impressive.
Well, I think the mom probably helped her, right? Wouldn't you think?
No, she went downstairs.
She went downstairs
alone when nobody was there, and then they found her outside.
Yeah, she
somewhere.
went downstairs alone to say, "Hey,
let's
all right,
go."
This
Shit,
is
I
funny
didn't
and
even
all, but
realize
cool,
that.
we should run away now.
Yeah.
Make me good again."
And he was like,
Right.
"Nah, fuck you, bitch."
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I think
Maybe if you would sing better.
let me know.
I'm such an asshole for her singing.
Let me ask you guys your opinion on these particular scenes. I do want to touch on them a little bit, but there's no real reason to focus on them. But she goes down there, I'm assuming, in an effort to make everything better. Plus, they have a relationship anyway.
Yeah.
Where she's like, "Hey, let's just make me better and let's get out of here."
Yeah.
And I'm assuming she was expecting everything for everybody to go back to normal. Correct?
Oh, I took it as like
I don't think so.
Or she was only out for herself.
Yeah,
That's how
I
I
think it was
felt
just
about
like,
Okay. Because
screw all of them. Let's run away together.
I
Yeah.
assumed thereafter when that failed, when she tried to run away, I thought, and maybe this is just me, especially after she said what she said when she gets back, and I'll get into that, I thought she was going to kill herself.
I think she was. I think realizing that he didn't actually care about her, and he was just. I always thought like he was just using his relationship with her to stay close to the dad, to watch them,
I guess,
or to hurt the dad.
So the potential suicide is just kind of her getting pissed off at the relationship.
I think it's like the betrayal. She's like, "Oh, I realized she was tricked." She went off to go on her,
Okay, because yeah, when
try
she,
and make things right.
When she got back, because here's the thing, she was saying pretty much what I thought the mom should have been saying.
Yeah.
She's like, "I love you guys so much, I would die for you. This is my chance to prove it. Just make it me." And
Yeah.
I'm like, your mom's a bitch. Because even with
you
this.
know what? Actually, I was like, I wasn't that against the mom for wanting to live, because obviously
Yeah.
who wants to die?
Well, yeah,
I-
and
mom's
And
better
you know what? Second thought on hearing that, it's like, the daughter was just like, just take me out, do it. It's good for the good of everyone.
Yeah.
The mom's a bitch.
Yes.
I like the mom for like the better part of the movie because she just seemed like the perfect wife and mom. Like she was just so nice and everything. But like after you get to a certain
Strict
point,
and
you're
proper. But
Yeah.
But after you got to a certain point, I'm just like, she kind of a bitch.
There's a possibility where everybody's going to die, and you're still not stepping up to the plate? Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Anna tells Steve that she let Martin go, which, I mean, here's the thing. Let's face it. I think Martin could have left whenever the fuck he wanted to. He had a band of duct tape, I think, around like his like stomach to the chair. And then like his hands were together. Oh, his feet were too?
I think so.
Either way, it doesn't look that
still, like,
difficult.
you could have easily, with his hands together, you could reach and just pull the duct tape off your chest and you're done.
Right. Okay, let's get back to poor Bobby. His eyes start bleeding.
Oh, I love this scene.
Bob died.
I know.
It is.
Her response is like when one kid's doing something he shouldn't be doing, and the one's like, "Dad, Bob's doing a thing. His eyes are bleeding." I like when this is when he's talking to Bob and he's cleaning like the blood off his eyes and
Yes.
stuff, and Bob's talking about his friends, and he says, "Oh, it's good to have lots of friends." Earlier in the movie, he's like, "It's not about how many friends you have; it's about quality friends."
Yes.
But now he's telling Bob, "Oh, it's good to have lots of friends."
Yeah,
And it's kind of weird
that.
because the same topic comes up twice in the movie, and each time he has a different opinion on the matter.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I wonder what his true opinion is, because I almost feel like if that's the case, then he's just kind of telling Martin, what he
and
wants
I
to
don't-
hear.
It's weird because I feel like
he was telling both of them what they want to hear.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know.
it is weird. I wonder if there's a point to that. Like, why would they have that in there? Or if it was just happened.
I don't know.
what it
Stop
would be.
asking questions. I don't know anything about this movie. I don't know anything about this movie.
Interesting.
What do you guys think about his method of killing one of them?
Oh, wait.
I think it's the best possible choice.
This is the worst possible way.
No, it's great.
No, if you have to kill a member of your family and you don't want to actually face having to kill them, granted, it's still fucked up and you're still going to have to live with it.
He was going to shoot Bob anyway.
You fake it till you make it.
This is bullshit. I'm going to call this.
I have so many problems with this, but at the same time, best solution. Just for the walls.
I'm not even
Just for the
joking. I
walls.
think best solution because basically when it comes down to no, seriously, because he couldn't make the decision.
Draw straws.
He basically did. How is it any different?
Hold up. First off, yes, he just spun in a circle and shot wildly. Again, like I said,
I kinda thought
he
he was gonna
doesn't
do it
want to
like,
have to face who he has to shoot. Whether or not he can see their faces, he doesn't want to have to face who he shoots. because he knows
I do feel
that
like there
looking
could
them
have
in
been
the
a
eye,
better
he
way.
won't be able to do it. So first cover their faces and cover his face so he doesn't have to see who he's going to shoot.
Okay, yes, I get that aspect. That's
And
perfectly
then spin
fine.
in a circle and
Here's
make
the
it
thing.
completely
my
fucking
thought process
random.
on that is because he's putting it off. So more or less, it was either do it at random or let them all die.
But
I don't.
there's another. I think there's a better random way because
Yes.
so he's spinning 90%, probably 99% of the spaces that the gun will be pointing is going to be empty.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like, how many times are you going to shoot your house
Yes.
before you shoot someone?
Oh, apparently only 3 times.
Yeah, he got lucky.
Bullshit.
And then you're gonna like shoot and just kind of graze someone and give them a terrible injury instead of just killing them right off the
Yes,
bat.
all
Yeah,
I can
I mean,
figure is like you're gonna clip somebody's arm or
And how
kneecap
do
or
you
something.
explain this when the cops show up?
Yes,
That's what I was wondering the whole time. Because this is like the second time he's fired his gun in his house.
I do want to actually touch on this when we get on like final thoughts, because that's one thing I really like about this movie. And I don't know if you guys maybe noticed this or maybe haven't, just didn't want to talk about it, but we'll get there. But no, I get the randomness. I get not wanting to see it face to face with the whole killing. But yeah, all I'm picturing is it's going to take a lot of shots. Second of all, like you're spinning around, you're dizzy. This gun could be pointed too high, too low. You could be blowing off limbs or something before you actually kill this person. And then of course, third time around, Bob gets hit. And it's a direct hit. And I could be wrong. I know shit about guns. But this seemed extremely minor on a tiny child with that big gun.
I mean, that's a movie thing where guns like blow up. That's probably that's probably honestly pretty realistic if I had to guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of gun it
hear
was.
me
I
out.
don't know what kind of
His
rounds he's
backside
shooting.
probably wasn't too pretty, but the front wouldn't look better.
Because like the gun goes off, he takes off his blindfold, and when you're looking at Bob sitting on this couch, everything looks okay, but then like right here, all he sees blood starts like filling up on and covering his yellow shirt. And I don't know. It just seemed so minute. But either way, that aside, it was a dumb method. Why not just go all out Russian roulette and get a revolver with one bullet and go bam, bam, bam until like not like bam, 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 don't kill all 3 of them. But you know what I mean? Like click, click, boom,
Yeah,
like
that's
whoever
what you
lands
do.
on.
I don't know who to kill. You're all dead.
Yes.
Fair enough.
Let's wrap this movie up, because after they kill poor Bobby, who, man, they should have just put him out of his misery a long time ago. But he's now out of his misery. Everything's good. And here's the thing. You know what? After all this, you know where I'm not going again? The fucking diner. I'm not going back there.
But they had good pie. The tart
That's
is
where they
amazing.
went.
Bob would have wanted you to have the
Yeah.
Whatever. But they go back to the diner. Martin walks in, and there's like this exchanged look between Kim and Martin. And then the Murphy family gets up and they leave.
Shit, was their last name Murphy?
Yeah.
What the fuck did they-
Apparently, I don't think it was ever said. I just happen to know. So they get up and leave, and that's it.
Especially talking with some random family at the diner. Like they saw the awkward exchange. Like, we should get out of here.
But yeah, so they get up and leave, and that's it. Cue the orchestral music and the credits, because it's
jarring
done.
orchestra music.
Good times
Okay,
ahead.
I do want to say I'm gonna keep this out of final thoughts and ratings because this might go on for a second. But that's one thing I really liked about this movie, is that there's just a point very early on, mind you, where you just let go and you just fall down this rabbit hole where you just are void of all logic, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing in this movie is logical. Like, when he abducted Martin, there was never anybody looking for him.
Yeah.
Even when he was released, nothing ever happened. There was shit going on. Like, even after they shot Bob, like you said, how do you explain that shit? You can't. There's no logic.
Apparently, Martin just pieces the fuck out sometimes, and just like, yeah, peace out, see you later, and then he's gone for days, and his mom's like, fuck, he'll be back eventually.
Also, the mother never actually got sick. So you're telling me they had to wait for Bob to die before she'd even begin to show the signs of it?
Maybe. I have no idea.
I thought that was weird that she never got sick
Yeah.
at all.
But no, I don't know. There's just there are so many things that if you really want, and which by the way we do with most movies, we pick shit apart on how this doesn't make sense. Like, we talked about this movie about how weird it was, but logic didn't even become a factor until like the very end, when you're like, how do you explain that you just shot, you killed Bob or whatever? But like, this whole movie, it's like it's so bizarre and like compelling. You almost just don't give a shit.
He actually says that at one point. It's like you can't just shoot Martin. He's like, what are you going to do with him? He's like, I'll just bury him in the backyard.
No, and that's true too. But like everything else in this movie, like I know that they had a hard time wrapping their head around how all this is happening. It just isn't, and it's like it's not explained. Nobody cares. I mean, I think the dad was trying to be rational at one point where he wants to go to the police and Anna's like, no, we'll just deal with this because what are you going to do? And that's the truth. What are you going to do? But like, I feel like that there's so much void of logic and that doesn't matter. And now we're going to go into final thoughts and ratings. And Isaiah, you took a lot from this movie.
Yeah, fall.
Bring us home.
Took the whole thing.
I honestly say this. I would not watch this again. Not gonna say I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't watch it again. Like, I don't even know how I watched it the first time. I don't know what I was expecting. I really didn't. Like even with the title, I figured it'd be some either metaphorical movie or that was some sort of hunting bullshit. But wasn't expecting that. If I understood it better, I would give it a higher rating. But I think I want to be middle ground with this one, so I'm gonna give it a 5. Like I said, it was a good movie, but I don't feel like I understood it enough. Well, Mike.
It was definitely one of the weirdest movies we've watched. It was so awkward throughout the whole thing. I didn't care for the way they did a lot of their lines, like their delivery. I said it multiple times. It was robotic and weird. I think I 100% would watch the movie again. I want to give it a higher score, but I'm going to give it a 6. I think maybe if I understood their metaphors a little more, it would probably, go a little better. But from what I got out of it,
If I understood the movie.
I think this is going to be a running theme.
I mean, yeah, I think it might be a little bit of a running theme. It's like, I can't, the reason it's not getting a higher score is I can't tell if there was more to get out of it.
Right.
Or if we got everything out of it that we could, and that's just where it is. That's why I don't rate it as high as I think I probably would have.
Fair enough.
So let's hear yours.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would definitely watch this again because I picked up on a lot more the second time, and I feel like there's still a lot to unpack with this movie. And I know you think the robotic acting is really weird and off-putting. Of all the things, I wish I understood the reasoning behind that, because that was a choice. Everybody acted that way. It wasn't just like somebody is like, giving a bad performance or whatever. That was clearly what everyone was directed to do. And so like, I don't understand it neither. This is a movie that if you like bizarre films, you could easily take this one at face value. I do recommend this movie, and I'm definitely on board with you guys. I feel like I would come in higher if I understood it more, but I think there's still more reason to watch it. I'm going to give this movie a 6.5. I think it's a great movie. I can't give it like a whole lot more because it's going over my head by a lot. By a lot. But it is a good movie. It's very awkward. But here's the thing. You have to be prepared that that's what you're going to get, because that is its intentions. That's what, this whole movie's about. Russell.
Okay. I like that I don't know what's happening.
Okay.
I like the freedom to just explore it and have a good time. I thought the acting was great because it was so not acting.
Bizarre.
I think it probably takes more talent.
It's acting, but it comes off as like they're just kind of talking their lines.
Yeah.
I think I will give it an 8.
Ooh, man. Coming in hot.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good.
That's 6 from Mike, 8 from Russell, 5
5
from Isaiah, and 6.5 from yours truly. And that brings us to the end of today's episode, you guys. Thank you so much for listening in. But you know what? You can do more than just listen. You can be part of the conversation. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at Rewind Guys Pod. That's REWGUYSPOD. Or email us at REWGUYSPOD@gmail.com and let us know what you think about this movie or any movie we've reviewed here on the podcast. We hope you join us next week. Did you say you have to pee?
I really have to pee.
Do you want to take a break?
Yes.
All right, let's take a break.
Will you hold it for me?
Maybe I could roll a clip right here.
Okay, will you make a pee sound at this point? Oh, I farted. That was a chair. But you can pretend it's a fart. Okay, bye.